All right, guys, so what we're going to do today is we're going to go ahead and do some introductions to writing inequalities. That's going to be our next unit. So the target we're going to take a look at today says, I can write an inequality to represent a constraint or a condition in a real world or a mathematical problem. So today we're going to focus mostly on the just writing for mathematical problems, and then next week we'll focus more on real world situations. So first thing we need to know is that inequalities are everywhere around us. So what does this sign mean? Okay, we've seen it. We see it all the time. It's a speed limit. And what it does is it puts a constraint on the speed that you can go. So is 15 miles per hour a legal speed? Yes, we know that it is because it says the limit, the highest that you can go, is 15 miles per hour. So then what would be all of the possible legal speeds? Well, we know that it's anything 15 miles per hour or less. So the correct answer to that could be 15 miles per hour, 14 miles per hour, 2 miles per hour. So in math, we've come up with a way to represent that with an inequality. We could say speed for S, and then we use the symbol here, and that says is less than or equal to 15 miles per hour. Again, these are things that we see in our everyday lives every single day, except now we're putting like a mathematical face to it. So if you've ever been to an amusement park or a fair, you might see a sign like this, and it says, you must be this tall to ride this ride. And it's got a little arrow pointing at a certain height that you should be. So it says, the first question is, can you ride this ride alone if you're 48 inches tall? Well, we know that you can't because 48 is less than the required height from the arrow. Okay, so then what are all the possible eligible heights? If we take a look at the arrow, it's pointing at 52 inches. And we know that if you're at 52 or above, you're good. So we can use an inequality to represent that by saying that the height, your height, is greater than or equal to 52 inches. So really, all we're going to practice today is what is an inequality, and then looking at specific words that tell us which symbol that we can use. Okay, so on your notes paper, we're going to go ahead and define an inequality. So far, we've used equations. An equation means that two quantities are equal. That's where we put the equal sign in the middle, and that means that it's same on both sides. Well, the prefix in or in means not. So when we're talking about an inequality, we're talking about when two quantities are not equal. Okay, either one side is less than the other or one side is greater than the other. And to represent an inequality, we use one of these four signs. Okay, so instead of an equal sign, inequalities contain the sign. The first one you see there where the point is first is less than. The next one where the open mouth comes first, that's our greater than symbol. The last two are kind of like an inequality kind of smushed with an equal sign. Okay, so we have a less than or equal to, and then a greater than or equal to. Okay, just like we have translated words in the past, okay, we can translate words that mean these symbols. So the easiest way, or what these symbols are, less than, okay, greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. Again, the less than symbol comes with the point first, and it's saying whatever is over here on the left is less than what's on the right. Okay, greater than is the opposite. Okay, whatever is on the right is greater than what's over here. I'm sorry, whatever's over here on the left is greater than what's on the right. Same difference down here, except now we're saying that this quantity is less than or equal to. So it could be that quantity or anything less than what's on the right. And greater than or equal to says whatever comes first is greater than or equal to whatever is on the right. Okay, so just like when we translated expressions and just like we translated equations, there are certain words that tell you which inequality symbol that you're going to use. So the first one we're going to look at is less than. So on your notes paper, you have the symbol, you have what it means, and then we're going to make a bank of words that you can use that tell you words that are going to indicate you're going to put in the less than symbol. So for example, the first one you're going to see is less than. Okay, so if you see as you're reading it says is less than. Okay, so instead of the equal sign where we see the word is, we're going to put a less than symbol. Okay, other words are fewer than, not as much as, and under. I'll give you a couple seconds to get those written down in your word bank. So if we see words like is less than or is fewer than, no, is not as much as, or is under, that tells us instead of that equal sign, we're going to put a less than sign. So if we just take a look at an example, it says the difference of 7 and a number divided by 3 is less than 16. Okay, so we're going to write it, translate it just like normal, except instead of where we see the word is, we're not going to put an equal sign. It says is less than, so then we would put a less than symbol. So we would write the difference tells us we're going to be subtracting 7, a number, divided by 3. And then we is less than, instead of our equal sign, 16. Okay. Not too much different, except now you're just looking for those words that tell you which inequality you're going to be using. So the next set we're going to look at are words that mean greater than. And pretty much they're just the opposite of the words that mean less than. Okay, so get in the greater than column and we're going to make us a little bank of words that mean greater than. Okay, the first one is obviously is greater than. Okay, if you see the word is greater than, we're going to throw in, instead of an equal sign, you're going to throw in the greater than symbol. Okay, is more than. Okay, if your height has to be more than 42 inches, you can't be 42 inches, you have to be anything that is above that. Okay, the word over. Okay, if you worked over 40 hours this week, you didn't work 40 or anything less, you worked 41, 42, 43, anything greater than that. Okay, so let's take a look at an example. It says the sum of 5 times a number and 7 is greater than 18. Okay, so we know 5 times a number is 5n. Okay, the sum tells us to add 7, but our sign says is greater than. So instead of our equal sign, that's where we're going to put our inequality symbol, is greater than 18. Okay, now those are pretty straightforward. Where it gets a little hairy is where we throw in the inequality and the equal sign. Okay, so let's take a look at words that mean less than or equal to. Okay, so get in your column that has the less than or equal to symbol, and we'll make us a little word bank. It's the first one is no more than. Okay, if I can fit no more than 5 books in my backpack at a time, I can fit less than or equal to 5 books. I can fit 5, I can fit 4, I can fit 3, I can fit 2, I can fit 1. Okay, obviously if we see the words less than or equal to, that means we're going to put that symbol. Those are the easy ones. Okay, the word at most also tells us that it is less than or equal to. Okay, I can fit at most 30 students in this classroom. I can fit 30 or anything less than that. Okay, so that's where we have our less than or equal to. Okay, and then the last one has a maximum of, again, if I say this school has a maximum capacity of 600 students, we could fit 600, that's our equal to, or anything less than that. So now we're going to talk about words that are greater than or equal to. Okay, so we're taking a look at words that mean greater than or equal to. And these are words like not less than. Okay, if I want not less than 3 participants, okay, I want 3 or more than that. Okay, I want 3, I want 4, I want 5, I want 6. Not less than. That tells us it's got to be greater than or equal to that number. Okay. Obviously, the easy one is if you see the words greater than or equal to, you're going to use the greater than or equal to symbol. At least, okay, if I have picked up at least 20 pieces of paper off the floor, I've picked up 20, I've picked up 21, I've picked up 22, okay, I've picked up greater than or equal to 20 pieces of paper off the floor. Okay. Has a minimum of. Okay. If I say that I want you to spend a minimum of 10 minutes on your homework, I want you to spend 10 minutes or more than that on your homework. Okay. So what you're going to do now is you are going to practice writing these words. I've given you a list on at the bottom of your paper there where you can just practice writing mathematical inequalities. So what you're going to do is you're going to look at the word. I want you to just use X as your variable, make it nice and easy. And you're going to look at the words and you're going to determine, does that mean greater than? X is greater than, X is less than, X is greater than or equal to, or X is less than or equal to. So for example, the first one says more than 6. Okay, so we know that more than tells us to use a greater than symbol. So we're going to say X is greater than 6. All right, if you go down the list, no more than, okay, you need to ask yourself, well, could it be 6? No more than 6 means it could be 6 or anything less than that. So we want a X is less than or equal to 6. Obviously, I have forgot to change the symbol around there, but it should be X is less than or equal to 6. Okay, so what I want you guys to do is I want you to go through and I want you to write the inequalities for the rest that are there. If you're struggling, go back up to your word bank and insert the right inequality. And then when you get done with that, I've posted some Quizlet cards on Google Classroom, and I just want you to go through those cards at least 2 times. Okay, at least 2 or more times, and just practice the words that mean less than, greater than, less than or equal to, and greater than or equal to. Okay, when you finish that, okay, you can play the Quizlet games with those words, or you can go, I've also posted a Quizzes Live link. You can go to Quizzes Live and practice those words. Okay, the more you practice these, the better off you're going to be next week as we are writing inequalities from real world situations. You won't be struggling with which inequality to insert. Okay, you'll already have these words memorized and you'll know them. All right, get busy.